They're putting out their false information. They're saying that we're allowing illegal immigrants is the word that they would use. Undocumented immigrants are not allowed to become police officers in the state of Illinois still. What we have allowed is legal permanent residents and DACA recipients now to become police officers. So we have the ability for people who are legally in this country, and again, permanent residents or DACA recipients now, to apply for jobs as police officers. But I am tired of the right wing twisting these things. They put it out on Facebook. They tell lies. They attack based upon those lies. They're perpetuating lies, so there are people out there that think that we're just allowing anybody to become a police officer. That's just not accurate. 2 other states already have provided this. We have a U.S. military that has 35,000 immigrants who are not U.S. citizens who are serving in the U.S. military today. 8,000 more sign up every year. We allow that in our U.S. military. We allow it in a couple of other states, and more states are adding on to this list of states that are allowing legal permanent residents. So I'm proud that we are doing this. I think it's the right thing to do. It's also good for our police departments. And oh, by the way, the Fraternal Order of Police has supported it.
Well, this spring will bring an event so rare it
Shalom. For a moment, I want to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim, Rakakadash. I'm going to give double honors to the apostles and elders, the great millstone and rule well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect who is in this gospel, broad, lifting up the standard. Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is just a lesson through the spirit. This is an article I found in several articles similar to it. Stated Illinois' bill will allow non-citizens to become police officers. As you've seen, this guy's name, he was basically talking in the video specifying that that's not the case. They're going to let people that's non-citizens to become police officers, which motherfucker, like, using schematics, man. Okay, for one thing, if a person has been over here 7 years and they got a green card and they become citizen, then how the hell can they be non-citizens if they're legally able to live here and they got the proper registration? See, you got to be careful on how this devil talk, man, okay? Because he used what he calls semantics. He say one thing, but he means something totally different. And that's what Esau does. He used semantics, okay? Because he's talking about the right wing, this and this and that, lying on them. Motherfucker, the right wing, left wing, all the same wing, okay? I never heard of a bird having 2 different wings, okay? If a bird has a pair of wings attached to it, then, hey, that's part of the same damn bird. Okay, so out of here with this left wing, right wing, back wing, front wing bullshit. It's all bullshit at the end of the day. And these people are all in bed with one another. They don't give a damn about the interests of you people. All right. But reality of it is, it came out as well that a lot of these people that's crossing the border are actually going to be able to have gun rights. Videos came out, of allegedly these guys are training 2-3 o'clock in the morning doing military drills, and practicing particular war tactics against you people. I saw a video today too when basically it was this one guy. He looked like he could have been from like Ukraine or something. I don't know, or maybe some type of Middle Eastern. I won't even say Middle Eastern, but may have been from like Germany or Kazakhstan or something like that. But the guy was like, basically, you have no idea on who I am, but you're gonna find out real soon. And honestly speaking, that was like a roundabout threat. Because, see, these people that's coming over here into your so-called country, they're basically military, man. Sleeper cells, agent provocateurs, gang members, whatever you want to name it. Okay, they're under the ploy of coming here to find a better life. Which some of them are coming here because they got caught up in the mix. They have to make it look so-called legal in a sense. But overall, nah, man, this place is being invaded. All right, so also this is another article here. It says states looking to hire illegal immigrants to fatten struggling police departments because clearly the police is underfunded. So these are 2 articles that's pretty much speaking the same thing. New California law allows non-U.S. citizens to become police officers. So here you go right here. All right. And what are the chances that this is happening in so-called democratic states? Hold up. Damn, I don't want to subscribe to that. Hold on, let me see something real quick. So-called democratic states. So right here, they trying to tell you in a roundabout way, this is what they getting ready to do. So you people in America, man, y'all getting ready to get the sword put to y'all. All right, because like I said, y'all ain't taking heed to the warnings, and we're talking about really our people. You Negro, Latino, and Native American. All right, so let's read it here. It says here, a new bill taking effect in the coming weeks would allow for non-U.S. citizens to apply to become police officers. As we specified that they're allowing so-called illegals to get these particular gun rights and permits. All right. And it reads here, it says the HB 3751 was passed in both chambers of the General Assembly General Assembly earlier this year. It says the bill's language says that individuals who are not citizens but are legally authorized to work in the United States under federal law will be allowed to apply for jobs with police departments. An amendment to the bill also will allow those whose immigration action has been deferred under terms of DACA to apply for the roles of police officers. So basically, they're giving illegals rights to become cops. Here you a felon, you can't legally own a gun, but yet motherfuckers from the cartel, the MS-13s, and sleeper cells could come over here without documentations and apply for a job to be a cop. Motherfucker can't even speak English, but yet they can police your departments. Because like I said, man, we're gearing up to the time that there's going to be a purging process in America. Okay, and a lot of these migrants that you're seeing over here, like that guy Daniel Hernandez, said he beat a guy with a bike tire and pulled a knife on another motherfucker. Hey, this is going to be the norm here. Agent provocateurs or paid agitators running around these streets, causing havoc, turmoil, causing riots, blowing shit up. And this is the means that they need in order to justify on bringing in the troops. It says, while the bill generated plenty of criticism, Pritzker emphasized that the legislation would be limited to individuals who are legally allowed to work in the United States and who are legally allowed to possess firearms. But who's to say that they're going to let you know that? Okay, because who is to determine what's legal and who's not legal? Okay, sure ain't you citizens. Okay, it's because they're saying it doesn't mean it's going to be the case. They can say, well, yeah, X, Y, and Z is illegal. He has his papers in X, Y, and Z, but yet they could have picked this man up from the border and put him in a jumpsuit or a police officer and gave him a badge and a firearm, and there you go, he's legal now. But under whose approval? The states or the people's? Right? But it says here, we have the ability for people who are legally here in this country and permanent residents of the DACA residents to apply for jobs as police officers. But Republican Mary Miller and Lauren Boebert were among the Republicans to condemn the bill, arguing that the legislation would allow individuals who entered the U.S. illegally to apply for positions. That's exactly what it was. And that's exactly what it is. And don't think that this is not the case, because for one thing, the Democrats is the reason why this economy is all jacked up. And really it's the elites. Okay, Democrats, Republicans is all being controlled by the elites, but they set up one party to be opposing to another party's values, and then they pass this legislation, and then before you know it, people start to blame this party, which creates a bigger division, which eventually will lead into civil unrest. Because that's what's coming here, civil unrest. Okay, global anarchy, a purge-like substance. Okay, that movie, The First Purge and The Forever Purge and the Purge series, that's basically what's getting ready to happen in the Swords of America. Okay, man against man, man against woman, nation against nation, city against city. There's going to be a bloodbath out here. And then you got these so-called illegals coming across the borders. And I call them so-called because a lot of them Venezuelans and, Central Americans, a lot of them actually have right to this land because they was over here first. But it says here, Pritzker fired back at those criticisms, saying that it is a misrepresentation of the legislation's language. He says, I'm tired of the right wing. And why do you have to call it wing if you're not part of the same bird? But he says, I'm tired of the right wing twisting things, he said. He says they put it on Facebook, they tell lies, and there are people out there that think we're just allowing anybody to become a police officer. And that is the truth. Okay, because we know that you devils are a bunch of liars at the end of the day. All right, same thing with the California state law. Why is it saying the same thing? It says here, with the power or with the new year comes new state laws, including one that changed the qualifications to become a police officer in California. It says, now anyone who can legally work in the state under federal law can be a police officer regardless of citizenship. See? So there you go. Cat is out the bag. And it's no coincidence that Illinois, California, New York probably already adopted this, because we know that legislation follows suit. It goes from New York to Cali, then Illinois or Chicago, then it trickles on down. And what's so weird about it is that the cities that have the biggest crime rate, they have the strictest gun policies, but yeah, you have the most outrageous crime rate. You know, like states like Missouri, Kansas, you know what I'm saying, Florida, Texas, they have very lenient gun laws, some of the most lenient in the damn country. And yet these states, even though they contain a lot of crime, they're not in likes of Chicago, LA, New York. Though Kansas City has been doing numbers lately, but Kansas City is under a democratic rulership, so to speak. Though the state is primarily Republican, cities like St. Louis and Kansas City, you know, those mainly heavily oriented Jake cities, is where the Democrats come in and assume, you know, the role of leadership in these cities. And that's no coincidence that everywhere where fucking Jake go, the Democrats follow, or wherever Democrats Jake follows. You know, because they're set up to house you, to feed you docility, to keep you lost and not engaged in what's happening. All right. So anyway, let's go here to the book of Jeremiah 16, and I'm gonna start at verses 2. It says, "Thou shalt not take thee a wife, neither should thou have sons and daughters in this place." This is talking about ancient Babylon. Okay, we know that this modern day Babylon, Jacob is gonna have kids, you know, have wives, but in all retrospect, it's not really wise to do so. Okay, it's not wise to have a wife on paper or to even have kids here, because for one thing, you don't own your kids, and you damn sure don't own your wife. She's not technically your possession in this society, man, because she's able to do what she wants to do. But it says here, "For thus says the Lord concerning their sons and concerning their daughters that are born in this place, and concerning their mothers that bear them, and concerning their fathers that begot them in this land. They should die of grievous deaths." Okay, why? Because a martial law, FEMA camps, okay, concentration camps are coming back up in the media, well, in the alternative media, okay, because they don't speak on these things in the news, but overall, they're resurfacing back up. Okay, I was reading an article last week about how a lot of homeless people are being forced into these shelters or these camps. You know, it says they should die grievous deaths, and they should not be lamented, neither shall they be buried, but they should be as dung upon the face of the earth, and they should be consumed by the sword and by famine, and by their carcasses should be meat for the fowls of heaven and for the beasts of the earth, man. Okay, and that's the point. When that purge comes, then, hey, you better believe all hell is going to break loose. And you Jakes, you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you're going to be the primary wrath of Esau's aggression. Okay, because these migrants, these sleeper cells, mainly those of foreign descent from like the not Central America, but from like Ukraine and these different European countries, they going to target you Jakes, man. Okay, like that foreigner, he said, you don't have no idea on what I am or who I am or what I am, but you're going to find out real soon. Because eventually they're going to start to activate these sleeper cells in these cities, and they're going to start doing things that's inconvenient. And they're going to blame a lot of you citizens for it, man, which is going to plunge this society into civil war. But it says, "For thus says Yahweh, enter not into the house of mourning, neither go lament nor bemoan them. For I've taken away my peace from this people, says the Lord, even love, kindness, and mercies," man. Okay, so the Lord ain't going to have mercy on you Jakes. Not in this day and age. Because the warning has went out, and yet you chose to scoff. Okay, you chose to come against the men of the Lord, the prophets. You chose to live in this wicked ass society and partake of its festivities. Now, when the judgment comes, hey, the Lord is not gonna have any dealings with you, man. And a lot of you Israelite camps out there, you gonna get caught in this as well, because you're not pushing the judgment, you're not pushing the hell to come on your congregation, but instead you telling them to set up a foundation here in America when America is getting ready to be destroyed in a short while. You know, and it says here, "Both the great and small should die in this land, and they should not be buried. Neither should men lament for them, nor cut themselves, nor make themselves bald for them. Neither should men tear themselves from them in mourning to comfort for the dead. Neither should men give them the cup of consolation to drink for their father or for their mother. And that's the point. So, hey, Lord said, fuck these niggas, man. Let them all be destroyed. And hey, I'm with that sentiment because Jake is wicked as hell. All right, Jeremiah 11, and I'm going to start at verses 13. It says, for according to the number of the cities were thy gods, O Judah, and according to the number of the streets of Jerusalem, have ye set up altars to that shameful thing. And when you see Jake going to these churches, you know, believing in black unconsciousness, man, worshiping the woman, worshiping themselves, Masons, you know, going to the club. This is all part of that idolatry, which I'm not saying going to the club is idolatry, but that's a like a lifestyle for Jake, to the point they idolize it, you know. But it says, Jerusalem, have you set up altars to that shameful thing, even altars to burn incense unto Baal. Therefore pray not thou for this people, neither lift up a cry or a prayer for them, for I will not hear them in the time that they cry unto me for their trouble. So don't cry for them Jakes, man. You know, because the hell that's getting ready to come to this earth, hey, you got to worry about your fucking self, man. You know, your brothers out there, man, you know, focus on the ministry and your families, man. You know, the ministry first. Because I'm going to tell you like this, when all hell break loose, hey, it's no guarantee that we all going to be together. You know, brothers going to have families. They're going to be separated from the brotherhood. Some brothers may be able to link up if the spirit allows it, but a lot of us, we ain't going to be able to. Hey, you may have one last camp before all hell break loose. You know, and they shut everything back down. And you ain't going to be able to see the brothers like that. So the only thing you can do is pray and have that best interest in prayer, man. But they going to have to look out for their families and, you know, and do what they have to do to survive. You see? Because, hey, this shit is getting ready to go down. All right? So it's not a light thing. Jeremiah 6, and I'm going to start at verses 21. It says, therefore thus says Yahweh, behold, I will lay stumbling blocks before this people, and the fathers and their sons together shall fall upon them, and the neighbor and his friend shall perish. Right? Because, hey, you're going to have neighbor against neighbor, family against family, brother against brother, sister against mother, father against father, father against son. And we're already seeing these divisions come about with the different draconian measures that they're passing down, especially when they get ready to institute this RFID micro chip. That's when the real division is going to start, because you're going to have people divided on what it is and what it's not. And the people that don't believe that's what it is, then they're going to be in opposition to the people that believes what it is. And it's going to cause an unresolving conflict. But it says, thus says the Lord, behold, a people coming from the north country, and a great nation should be raised from the sides of the earth, and they should lay hold on bow and spear. They are cruel and have no mercy, and their voice roareth like the sea, and they ride upon horses, set in array as men for war against thee, O daughter of Zion. So once again, the judgment is coming down on the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay, because this is known as the time of what? Jacob's trouble, which we always say soon to be Edom's trouble. Because while Jacob's in trouble by default, Esau is going to be in trouble as well, because, you got Edomites blowing the trumpet, you know, warning people like this guy Steve Ram. He's bringing out World War III alerts and climate weather alerts. You know, anybody that's speaking out against this new world order, hey, they looking at you. All right. But it reads here, it says, and we have heard the fame thereof, and our hands wax feeble. Anguish have taken a hold upon us, and pain as a woman in travail. So go not forth into the field, nor walk by the way. For the sword and the enemy and fears on every side, man. Okay, so that's the point. This shit is going to be all around the society. Neighborhoods are going to get quarantined off. You're going to need some type of digital passport in order to go from one city block to the next. Okay, you may be trying to go to South KC. That's if they don't blow the bridges, because they're going to have military checkpoints set up on the bridge, because believe it or not, there's no way to get to the other side of Kansas City from north to south unless you cross the river. You see? So there's no way around it. So on all these bridges that lead from north to south, they're going to have checkpoints set up. If you want to get to South KC or North KC, they're going to say, what's your dealings in this side of town? What are you here for? Who are you here to see? And you tell them blase, and they say, okay, well, do you have the necessary credentials in order to be authorized to pass? And if you don't show that hand or scan that hand, then they're going to either tell you to go back your own way, or they're going to lock you up and put you in a fucking FEMA camp and then give you the micro C-hip. Okay, these are the things that's coming to America, man. All right. And it says, we have heard the fame thereof, our hands wax feeble, anguish have taken hold upon us, pain as a woman in travail. I read that already. It says, but O daughter of my people, gird you with sackcloth, which this is a form of mourning, and wallow thyself in ashes. Make thee mourning as for an only son. Most bitter lamentation, for the spoiler shall suddenly come upon us. And who is that spoiler? Esau, okay, these foreign nations. Those are the spoilers that it's talking about. For those of you out there that may seem to scoff at biblical prophecy, this is going to be a reality soon. All right, 2 Ezra 15, and I'm going to start at verses 15. It says, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another with swords in their hands. This is civil war. Okay, the tensions among America, the Americans now, the taxes to the inflation, to the war, to the, it's literally boiling over. It says, for that should be sedition among men, and evading one another, and they should not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of that action shall stand against their power. And the man should desire to go into a city and should not be able, because it's going to be fighting everywhere. Okay, it's going to literally be chaotic from point A to point Z. And like I mentioned, the military, it says, for because of their pride, the city should be troubled, and the houses should be destroyed, and men afraid. And the man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but should destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods, because of the lack of bread and great tribulation. So we're in those times, brothers. But anyway, with that, all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Lord, will you edify into the next lesson. Shalom.